Well, in keeping with our junk garden theme of recycling, we've got a great garden project for you today. And with us is Olen Thomas. He's one of our OBGA ambassadors, and he's going to show us how to use some old tires to make new planters for our garden. And Olen, this looks like a great project.
Well, I think it's kind of fun. I sort of stumbled onto it by accident. As a joke, one time I made one of these for someone, and I decided I really liked it. So what this is the front tire off my lawn tractor that had finally worn out and couldn't be patched anymore. So what we're going to try to do is make a hanging basket out of it. And as you can see, I've sort of sketched out with a piece of chalk the line on which I want to cut. And since I'm going to hang this basket, I want 3 points from which to hang from. So you can make these in different shapes, but I've chosen this shape because it's pretty simple and easy to do, and it'll hang nicely with from 3 points. So all we need to do is finish cutting this out to save a little time on camera and to make sure that I lessen the chance that I cut myself on camera. I've kind of done part of this ahead of time, but it actually cuts pretty easily. You need a rather sharp knife, but you just use a little bread cutting motion there, up and down. I'll try to follow my line.
Now, you're basically just using a sharp pocket knife for this.
That's pretty much it. This particular one is a little bit safer than average, probably because it is a lock back blade so that it can't fold up on me.
Okay.
So we'll just set that aside, and this is what we're left with. Now, all we have to do is turn it inside out, and this requires a little bit of strength. So we'll see if we can do this. See if we can get this started.
That takes a little bit of time to get that turned around.
Yeah, that took a little more effort than I'm accustomed to, I have to admit. But there you can see what it looks like. And what we have here is one of the patches that were made at one time when it was still being used as a tractor tire, of course. And you don't want that sticking out, so we can just take our knife and cut that off nice and flush. And of course, the plug is glued into place, so it should stay there just fine. And as you can see, we've got the beginnings of a hanging basket, but you see it's got a big hole in the bottom of it. So how do we keep things in? Well, it's pretty simple. We'd measure that hole. And then what I have here is a piece of hardboard, 1/8 inch hardboard. And I would recommend that you use tempered. You can get tempered or untempered, but the tempered would be more water resistant and it'll last for years. It has in the ones that I've made before. So that is cut, and it just fits right in there just like that.
And that lets it drain all right?
Yeah, it works perfectly. What you want to do is have a piece that fits in there so that it holds your soil in place but allows the water to drain. And that's the way this works very nicely. So now we need to figure out a way to hang it. And what I've done is cut 3 lengths of chain, all the same length. And at one end, I've fastened them all together on a single hook. And that will be the top of our hanger. And the ends of the other chains have a separate hook on them, and they will attach to our basket. And as you can see, to save a little time again on camera, I've pre-drilled the holes that our hooks will fit into.
Just with an electric drill?
Right. So that will just go on there just like that in 3 places. And then we want to crimp that down a little bit with a pair of pliers so that whenever you do move the basket around or take it down, it won't fall apart on you.
Now I noticed you did that already with the first part they put on the chain.
Right. I like to crimp those all together so that when I move it or have to take the slack off the chain, it will stay together.
Now, you use 2 feet of chain. You found that that's a good height for you?
Well, I thought that you sort of do it in proportion. We're working with the front tire of the average riding lawnmower. You could actually use the back tire too, but obviously that would be a much bigger planter, and I would want bigger chain and probably a longer chain to keep it in scale. I just thought that 2 foot was a nice ratio and was pleasing to the eye if you're hanging this up. So
nice.
you just sort of take a look at it and see if you like it. If you think it's too long, of course, you can shorten it, but so you better start a little bit longer. It's harder to lengthen the chain.
Right.
Now, of course, a hanging basket looks better when it's not too high, because you don't want to be looking at the bottom of it.
Right.
So what if your chain is too short for the position you want to hang it? We have these handy little hangers that are readily available at the lawn and garden centers, and I use these an awful lot. They come in 3 different sizes. I have 2 sizes here to show, and you can just use these in combination to get your basket hanging where you want to. If you're hanging it from a tree or from the side of your house or whatever. These are also very inexpensive. They come in a package of 5 or 6, and they are about 30 cents a piece or something like that.
Great.
And I've had these for several years, and as you can see, the galvanized coating is still good and they're not showing any rust. And you just link them together. If one doesn't get where you want to go, you can just use more than one and link them together. We use these an awful lot, especially for positioning hummingbird feeders. We like to have them hanging from the eave of the house, but right down at eye level in front of the window. So these are just real handy to have, and they work good for this.
Those are good to just have in stock whether you're doing this or not.
Yeah, for the price. You'll find ways to use them if you have them.
Great.
They're very nice. Okay, so that sort of shows us what we need to do on our hanging basket besides planting it. But on the recycling theme, we get a little bonus. The part that we cut out looks like this, of course. And again, I've pre-drilled some holes in each of these 3 tabs that I fashioned by following my cut line. And I have a hanger here.
Let's see, I think it's right here.
This is a recycled hanger from a 10-inch hanging basket that you would buy either already planted or to be planted at the Lawn and Garden Center. And I've just removed it from that. So we'll just put that in there like that, bring it up so that it will stay in position. You don't have to be too accurate with it, because whenever you have 3 hangers, you can sort of bend it around. And this is going to be quite a bit lighter than our planter, of course. And then,
got another bottom here.
Yeah, we have another bottom, and this demonstrates how that just sits right in there just like that. So you're probably wondering what this is.
It's not a planter.
And it's definitely not a planter. This is what I use as a butterfly feeder, and to make it complete, I put a banana right here. Now, sometimes when our bananas get a little bit overripe, that's when the butterflies are really going to begin to like them. So if you fashion something like this and put a banana or some other fruit out on it, I think you'll be pleased with the butterflies that you can attract. There are several butterflies that are attracted to fermenting fruit. So that's what we're after here. And in my experience, the bananas work better than other fruits because it has this nice peel on it, and it doesn't allow the banana to dry out. It'll stay in there inside that peel and get to the condition that the butterflies like it, and they can just come along and pierce it with their proboscis and just eat away. And they're very fun to watch.
So you just leave it all
Just like that,
on and
yes.
everything.
Now, I have read in books and other places where some people like to cut up the fruit, but I've tried that, and it always just dries out before it gets to a condition where the butterflies like to eat it. And this has worked very well for me. I like using the whole fruit.
Well, this is great, Olen, and we have basically recycled an entire tire, and we've got some useful items for the garden.
Well, I'm glad that I could be here and help you get some ideas.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.